Yeah, if we're oh, here we go. We've got it going on. So we're gonna load right into a border. But yeah, if we're looking at the two matches that we have today, Apache versus Obey, and then we've got Sinister versus Nomads later. This is probably the most askew in terms of you know, experience.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get right back into the match.
Hopefully no issues here, but they are going to be obviously having to play the same bomb site and same operators to get that set up. So no sixth picks from either team. I don't think they had before either. I think it's just the case where they kind of are starting with the way they want to start, and the conventional bomb site to start on as well. Nothing too unusual on the defensive setup, other than the fact that they're bringing two of the kind of denial operators with both Bandit and Mute. Usually it's one or the other, but there are definitely good uses to have some Mute as well. Although the Bandit is usually enough, depending on whether or not you're really, really committed to trying to stop them opening one of those walls, or just trying to delay that at best.
I think if there's a site that you can justify bringing a Bandit and a Mute both,
yeah,
then it's Armory. There's a lot of ground you have to cover. Usually what will happen is the defenders will send out probes to feel where the attack is coming from and adjust their anti-hard destructor accordingly. But you can also just bring both potential ones and blanket the entire area and not worry about adjusting in the middle of the round.
Well, unfortunately for them, there is a Maverick, of course, which is not subject to being denied by either of those operators.
Right, of course, yeah, he can just open up anything with no counter whatsoever. And, you know, of course, you just shoot him, right?
I think of his torch as more of a magic wand, like a little sparkler.
Yeah. It's like, you are now open, and it's silent, and yeah, that's Maverick. Mm-hmm.
Silent, other than him muttering abracadabra under his breath as he does it.
That's about the volume adds. Like,
yeah.
Abracadabra.
There you go, and there it is, abracadabra.
You are now open.
Sesame. So that's going to give him a nice line of sight there. They took over CCTV fairly quickly, though.
Yeah.
That was on Apache to give that up so quick.
No contention whatsoever. I mean, it makes sense. If I were Apache in this situation, I wouldn't be trying to fight CCTV.
Especially against such heavy fraggers, and knowing that they can pinch it successfully.
Yeah. Well, as line of sight's being opened up, that means Obey will be able to cut off rotation between A and B, and once they open up this A wall, we'll then have a pretty easy push, considering they've cut the defenders in half effectively. Thermite on the A wall, and there are currently 3 anchors for Apache sitting in the A site, waiting for that push to happen. Obey will drone that out, and they are now aware they have lots of crossfires established. My man on the rappel, Sky's on the north balcony. Here comes my man from that window. Sky's also making sure to shut down a store, so it's looking really good for Obey. A man getting pressured, but Skies will shut down Swamp Fox as he attempts to run outside. Vaughn had prompted the final 2 defenders very swiftly into this round. Still a whole minute left here for Obey. You can see Prompted moving his way into bunker or half wall, as some call it. Adam will take out Vaughn, but Prompted manages to get the first kill for his team and relocates to Sandwich. Skies will shut him down, and Obey take the first round of map number 2.
Definitely a swift one, and I suppose if you're confident on your executes, what better side to start on than attack, right? Because you're the one in control of the pace to an extent.
I would say that Obey is in control of the pace no matter where they end up.
Very true. They can play very aggressive on defense as well. They are going to try lockers a second time, see if they could do it any better, but I got to imagine that execute was not a fluke. They could definitely pull off a very strong, quick push, but they're bringing different operators this time, it looks like, unless Skies is just messing with us again, which is, I would say, probably likely. Although I could see him being a very good with that F2 as well, not really being a problem for it, because he's going to have Benji take that 6th pick. And this is what I was talking about. This is why sometimes you see Ying Band is this particular bomb site. It can be very difficult to deal with blinding out that entire lockers area.
I can see from Skies' operator selection that he's just going for fragging power. He doesn't really give a darn about utility right now, and that's, you know, fine. It's working out great for him. It worked out great for him on the first map. It's working out great for him here on the second map. You know, you usually aren't going to bring a Twitch unless there's a Mira in play, and since Mira's been banned, that's obviously not on the table. However, she's got a great gun, and yeah, fragging power.
Yeah, it's summing up in one word. He's definitely been showing that already at 3 kills for his team. Prompted at least managing to pick up the 1 last round, which is, I mean, I guess that's not bad considering the heavy pressure he was under at the time, managing to pick that up. But I think that's taking advantage of the chaos, if nothing else. We'll see if they can do it a little bit better this time. Maybe they'll contest CCTV, but somehow I doubt it. It is.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be doing that. We'll probably have, if nothing else, light pressure on the top floor.
Yeah.
But mostly around archives and armory, I'm sure.
Well, they will be bringing some different stuff in terms of both sides, because now there's a castle there set up on Apache side, which actually no, I think they might have brought last time, but there's no Maverick being brought this time from Obey. Instead, they're going to bring a Habana and then that Ying, as well as the Twitch. So mostly different outside of, I think, perhaps Adam and my man. No reason to switch my man up, though. He's been fairly successful on that operator on both maps so far.
Well, there's no reason to switch up Skies either. He was having great success on the Ash, but, you know, already having success here in the second round. Skies will take out a store as he attempts to get the line of sight onto that north balcony. What a nice shot through the barricade, and Obey are already off to a good start.
Looks like Skies was more than welcoming of that gift and said, that's fine, you can go ahead and waste your C4 early in the round. That's one less I have to deal with. But Swamp Fox killing my man. We were just talking about how well he was doing on that. Good thing Skies was there to refrag, but maybe he should have got that kill a little bit earlier. But hey, hindsight's 20/20, plenty of operators left for Obey.
You can see Benji looking for the fight, but he's actually going to lose it against Vaughn. Great positioning there from the Legion, but he is going to... Oh, wow.
Nicely
I was
done
about to say, not going to be able to finish it, but he gets the impact. So he will catch his opponent in that rotation. Obey not able to recover their Ying.
I have a feeling this is going to come down to Skies just walking in and killing everyone at this point. I mean, there is one downstairs, so that's one he's not going to be killing, but he could just go hunt him down. Prompted, though, is going to finish off Adam. So actually, a decent comeback here from Apache. It's 2-2 and 1:20 left.
As Skies gets the 3K, there will be 3 eliminated players for Obey as well. So there's a fight back for Apache, and they still have the Maestro in play, using those Evil Eyes, trying to find any potential damage he can onto Skies. It's very unlikely that he's going to be able to zap him without losing the camera, though, so just going to use the information instead. Probably the right call for Apache.
Yeah, we'll see. This is definitely slowed down, though, for Obey with less players on the attack here to be able to do anything. And I didn't realize they'd actually switched over to vents downstairs. It's the bombs are almost in the same positions too, so when you're looking at it from the top view, it looks like they're still up there. But Sky's already with a 4K. I think he's on track here for that ace.
You know, the final defender is going to be prompted in the bathroom, and he's gone. An ace for Skies in round number 2, and Obey will take it, looking for their 12-0.
Definitely the case where I don't think Skies cares too much about losing players. Nice to see he was running that SK skin as well on the FAMAS.
I mean, I gotta be honest, man. All the pro skins look nice.
Oh, God. Yeah.
But I think a lot of the pro players, you know, they're using the other team's skins because, yeah, you can support your fellow pros, and you know, a lot of these guys are friends. They might be rivals, but they're still friends. And then more importantly, they look nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So why not run it? Of course. But that's going to contribute to, I mean, the prize pool for potentially themselves even, right? So
right. Those that charge from their one skin purchase could end up small kickback. Yeah. Well, yeah. So round number 2 to Obey, and they still have yet to drop one in the series. Armory defense here yet again from Apache. So we've seen Armory, ventilation, Armory, and they haven't been able to shake their opponents yet.
Well, at least they've been able to get a few kills. Prompted managed to get a second one, and the Swamp Fox and Vaughn also picked up one. So they're not completely at 0, but it's definitely a situation where they seem to be getting a little outclassed in terms of these attacks. As I mentioned, their defenses, their attacks against Obey's defense were a little bit better on Clubhouse.
Their attacks?
Yeah, their attacks were a little bit better. Yeah, you're right. It's not plural.
Their singular attack.
Their singular attack
was yes, it was much better.
I was counting each individual person as an attack.
Oh, okay.
They're 5 attacks.
Continue.
Yeah. So I mean, them starting again on defense is definitely maybe not the greatest thing for them to be doing, because this seems to be where they're really struggling against such a frag-heavy team. Although you know, it's hard to say. We only got to see one round of that, as you mentioned last time. Hard to really gauge off of that one round.
I feel like, honestly, when as I'm watching this, it feels as though Skies right now is a kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
You know, being able to just walk around, and he's got targets. I mean, he's been able to put up 8 kills in 2 rounds.
He's in that T-Hunt mentality right now.
Well, that's a bit mean to Apache.
No, I don't mean it in the sense that they're just terrorists, but I mean in the sense of the way you play T-Hunt, just kind of going around the map, just shooting everything that moves.
Yeah, that does seem, that is how Skies is playing. He's kind of just looking for fights and taking them and winning all of them. And that really shouldn't work, but it is working. Either way, Apache right now trying to stop the bleeding, and they will be again defending that armory. It's going to be an A-wall take here for Obey. As you can see, they're ready to thermite already. My man has disabled the mute jammers that may have been on that wall.
This time they're not playing half wall though to counter Benji. They're actually just going to count on Swamp Fox to stop it with this C4 throw. That doesn't work. Now Benji's going to be able to live a lot longer. Now we might see the Candels come out for the take this time.
Yeah, see, the danger of playing at a half wall, of course, when you're dealing with a Ying, is that you can't really escape the Ying Candelas. Yeah. You rely then at that point on your teammates covering you from the other side of the A site, as they aren't going to be flashed from the Candelas. But it's very dangerous, and it's not something you want to rely on too much. So that's probably why Apache isn't playing anyone there. Either that, or they're just not going to want to take that risk.
Yeah. I like how when Bosco's playing Zabana, he still opens up the same holes he did as Maverick, essentially.
Here comes the rush from Benji, and he will take out Prompted, followed up with a kill onto the store. And he's got complete control over the A site. Candela into B will also blind the players therein. He does push them actually into Fountain. A 3K for Benji. He's looking for his own ace. He's only got 2 more, and my man will take out Swamp Fox. Bosco onto Vaughn, so no ace for Benji, but Obey clean up shop, and a 3-0 is established.
Well, so far that is 2 losses on Armory. They did, I'd say, a lot better on Vents. If I were them, I would consider that your primary bomb site at this point, because that split defense is working a little bit better in terms of at least maybe isolating some of the attackers or getting some of those kills on those pushes. Swamp Fox, I can't imagine going to stick on that Capcan. That seems like a bait 6th pick to me, but
I honestly think that Capcan would not be terrible in this situation.
No, but you don't want to show it.
Yeah, you don't want to show it. You would 6-pick into it if you want to play it. Now, it looks like he might 6-pick into it. As the reveal phase comes out, he's probably going to maybe, or not probably, but quite possibly 6-pick onto the Capcan. There you go. So, of course, when you're selecting your operators and it's not locked in, your opponents don't know what you're fumbling through. So, yeah, it makes sense that way that falls down for Apache. Either way, bringing a Capcan here, again, makes sense. Slow down your opponents, if nothing else. And considering how fast Obey has been playing.
That seems like the right counter, though, now that Sky is 6-pick to Blitz.
What the heck?
He was going to go, he was at Buck originally, was going to go to Sledge, and it was probably just like, nah, you know what? Let's just walk in with a shield. Let's just do that. So we'll see how successful he is on that, but it's definitely going to be something where Capcan might have some advantage if he's able to catch Skies being overly aggressive. I mean, maybe that's where Apache could succeed. Here's a bit more trap operators. I mean, yes, they had Legion sometimes to slow down potentially the pushes, but maybe they need something that covers whole doorways. You know, they were going to potentially play a Frost last map, but didn't end up doing it. But maybe a Frost, Capcan, like Ella and Legion, just full trap meta would be the one thing that could work in their favor to an extent.
Does that Capcan seem abnormally fast to you, or am I delusional? That's the pistol, of course, but jeez.
Well, I mean, he did get buffed to that 2-speed a while ago. We haven't seen a ton of him since then.
That was so long ago, though, wasn't it?
That's true.
I guess it's just, you know, the Russian operators in the past didn't seem as fast, but now they've all progressively gotten faster. Sky is going to detect the Capcan downstairs with a shotgun, and oh, he's on the hunt. The flash is not going to work through the shield. Swamp Fox manages to down Skies, but Benji will eliminate him before this kill is secured. Obey able to pick up their charging blitz, and he will be back in the fight.
That is going to help. They'll still, even though he gets that 50 HP back, when you're a shield operator, you need all the HP you can to be super effective. But my man going to take down a second one. So this is definitely an advantage for Skies to be able to try and push more aggressively, as they have a huge man count advantage now, despite his lower health.
Yeah, 50 is still enough to work with a blitz. You just got to get in your opponent's face as fast as possible. Interesting lack of droning going on here for Obey. They've been
This is droning.
All right, fair. But in terms of actual droning, though, they have been so thorough so far in this match, and it seems like they're trying to get that 12-0, but they're allowing Skies to solo entry. That Capcan trap just did a tremendous amount of damage onto both Adam and Benji. Skies also going to eat a lot of bullets there, putting on relatively low HP. Pretty much a single bullet will eliminate him, and it's the C4 from Prompted that's actually going to get the kill. Skies with the F in the chat after he had been unkilled so far. He had a perfect KD, and it's gone now. Yeah, there you go. The Capcan from Apache working a lot of wonders in this round, doing a lot of damage and also getting a kill. Leaving, though, just 2 defenders on Apache. That's Willem and Prompted. Prompted will get his second kill of the round onto Adam. So 2 versus 2. Lots of time for Obey. And the utility is abundant as well. As the Candelas start moving into the A site, so will Benji. On half HP, it's not a perfect situation for him, but he's got the positional advantage and the ability to plant the diffuser as Bosco covers. The denial from Prompted, though, and he's going for another kill. Bosco not in a great spot. He has the most HP, but he's going to have to find 2 in order to clutch this out. Gas canister still in play from Willem. I'm not sure what he was thinking there. Full blind, Bosco will sprint into the site. And this might not be a 12-0 after all, as Bosco starts peeking around the corner. Prompted with the kill. Bosco goes down. What a 4K from the Valkyrie.
I mean, Bosco just did not give great coverage of the plant, for first thing. He was not watching the angle the way he should have been. He saw the tip of the gun after the kill happened. So not the great positioning. And then that flash throw, it felt like there might be some serious frustration that was coming out from Bosco at the end of the round there. I don't think he was in the right mental place to try and clutch that out. But the Capcan might have set him off earlier. I mean, the Capcan
was the real MVP. Prompted got all the kills, but the Capcan, well, not all the kills. Again, Swamp got 1 with the trap. Either way, that the damage he did with those traps really outskilled Obey, and I'm sure that they're very devastated that they aren't going to get their 12-0.
No, they're definitely going to have to work a little harder now to avoid that. Swamp Fox teasing the Capcan again. This time I got to imagine it's just a tease in terms of messing with them after that last round. As you mentioned, they're being successful. I do think the Capcan was the right play in terms of, once to try and catch them off guard for being so aggressive. And then playing Blitz on that round, that was the perfect round to do it because, as you mentioned, less droning happening that round.
I almost feel a little silly saying Capcan was the
MVP?
Was the MVP.
Yeah.
But it's true. I mean, he did so much damage, and ultimately, gotta say, that's honestly kind of Obey's fault. I mean, they didn't check for the Capcan traps. Yeah. There were so many Capcan traps that got detonated, enough to actually get a kill. So big whoops there from Obey. I guess they were just getting a little ahead of themselves. And again, there was a lack of droning, a very distinct lack of droning. And the pressure being applied from Obey was, kind of onto one particular area that was being heavily defended by Apache. Now, all that said, these factors coalesce to result in a very narrow win.
Yeah, in
for
this
Apache.
Case, they're going to try it again, too, with the Capcan. Might not work as well the second time around here. I mean, Skies isn't going to try and play that Blitz again, but he is going to be playing his aggressive Ash, which is a good target for those Capcan traps. But, I got to imagine they've probably found out very quickly whether or not he's playing that Capcan again this round and going to be just slightly more prepared for it.
Looks like it's going to be a relatively slow take here from Obey. You can see their caution has gone way, way up. They are not going to allow any more rounds to slip away, or at least they don't want to allow any more rounds to slip away. Capcan in a great position there using, I believe, the shotgun inside of the A site, and he can hold that window with relative ease. Still CCTV control for Apache, and so they don't have to worry about the vertical pressure just yet. Obey also doesn't seem to be putting a lot of emphasis on taking that top floor, instead focusing mostly, at least, on Passport.
Well, we'll see if that can actually turn into the push they need. I mean, that's the usual thing to do, is open up that passport wall. They do have 2 hard breachers, but a C4 does find one. Prompted is on a roll.
Prompted a nice double kill, and Swamp Fox will follow it up with a kill in the skies, but it's fight back from Obey. They haven't managed to equalize, but they have at least gotten 2 kills and decent positioning. Prompted has been absolutely on fire here on Border, playing that Valkyrie to perfection. But Obey still has managed to get the diffuser into the A site and has started that plant. No denial here for Apache, and the run out from Valkyrie, if prompted, might actually be able to do it. Yes, indeed. A nice shot onto Bosco, and he's going for another 4K, but Astor is going to get that final kill. Apache take out 2 rounds thanks to Prompted's excellent Valkyrie play.
I was starting to feel like Swamp Fox was going to be a candidate for MVP, but now I'm starting to think Prompted's trying to compete for that there. Very well done, 2 rounds in a row. I mean, it was a good combination between them two as well. They both did a good job both rounds, but just a smart play on that rotate, catching the plant coming down the way he did, and that really changed things around after those initial flurry of kills, because that set them up in a great position to just finish out that round and actually get a second one. But of course, now we have the side switches, so we'll see if if maybe there is a better attacks coming out from Apache that we just didn't get to see. Plural this time, maybe. And well, I mean, I guess for sure, because of course the score line isn't a 5-0, so we'll get a chance to get a better idea. They will be bringing some fun operators here with the Glaz, Dokobi, Yang, Captain Buck. It's going to be something to deal with here for sure from Obey. They are going to be going with roles that they seem fairly comfortable with on Clubhouse. Sky's going to be that Vigil Roam. We'll see how effective that is, or if they're able to drone him out and kind of shut him down.
He's definitely a very strong roamer, and as an individual, and using Vigil give him a lot more flexibility. See those lines of sight opened up, the impact grenade into CCTV. Any players inside of the office from Obey are going to just try and deny that south doorway into CCTV, forcing the rest of the attackers to push on west balcony, which is very dangerous if they want to attack the A wall. Now, of course, that's pretty expected. You're going to have to push a west balcony, which is usually why a lot of teams will put multiple players in that position and also focus on taking CC first. But if you can't push through the south doorway of CCTV, then it becomes a little bit more complicated. Either way, a little bit of pressure being applied by Obey in the prep phase already. And Sky's actually going to be roaming in CCTV? I can't imagine he's going to stay here for too long. He's probably...
He hasn't opened the hatch yet either, though, to rotate out if he wanted to.
Yeah, at any moment he can open the hatch, but I think that's the second impact he just used. So he's out of impacts. He cannot open the hatch anymore, which means he's just going to be sticking around. Benji, though, using that angle we talked about earlier through the wall, denying the south doorway, and so the plan here for Obey is a one-man roam in CCTV to hold the west balcony and the doorway from that same balcony, and then Benji from offices will deny the south door, and together they hold CCTV as a unit. It's a decently safe strategy, though it leaves Skies very exposed. Vaughn gonna take out Adam, so there's an there isn't a response here from Apache. They're not letting this go out of hand, and the Glaz from Prompted actually gonna take Skies down as well. Vaughn gets his second onto Benji, and Apache are looking pretty good in this round. My man and Bosco, the final 2 defenders, and there's 2 minutes almost left for Apache to get this attack down.
Well, we're starting to see why this was their map pick. This is definitely going much better for them than Clubhouse did. They still haven't finished the round just yet, but they're definitely getting close to doing that because a minute 30 left and a 2-man advantage here really working in their favor. There's a smoke also coming out from Bosco. I wouldn't say too early, but definitely not going to stop a last-minute push. Bosco, though, does finish off Swamp Fox, so no more phone calls coming out from him. And you're seeing the Glaz at very low health. They might even want to consider a reset with the amount of time they have left and how valuable Glaz could be on that push, because you don't want a random spray to take him out.
I'm just a little confused at how Apache is playing this right now. They have such an advantage, and they're squandering it by playing incredibly slow. They also don't seem to be, well, they're only just now starting to focus up on one objective, and they have taken down my man, so the slowness actually working out great for them. And it's just going to be Bosco, the final defender, as he fights against the last 3 from Apache. The gas canisters are all expended here for Bosco, and as Buck moves his way back into offices, he's just trying to distract, allowing for his teammates to push in, but Bosco will shut down Prompted and rush through the bolts to take out Willem. What a play from the smoke of Bosk. He is one of the most notable smoke players in the world, and oh wow.
That's how they end the round.
We're just gonna breeze on by that. We're just gonna pretend that didn't happen. So Obey taking their 4th round, and Apache struggling a little bit in that the final stretch of that round. So it looked like they may have had it, but they tripped over themselves just a little bit.
I mean, it was because they didn't plant the diffuser, right? It wasn't because they got the last kill, but it was still like that was a confusing ending to a great start. No
matter how you chop it up, it was a pretty hilarious display.
A loss is a loss, yeah.
Yeah, a loss is a loss, and well played to Bosco. Again, as I stated in the middle of the clutch, I mean, he's one of the most notable, I think, smoke players in the entire world, and he's definitely proving it there. So, yeah, 2 rounds that Apache managed to take out, and we are going to be doing a quick rehost for, I think, obvious reasons. And we'll be getting back into the action pretty soon, but before that, we will be throwing to a short break. So
gives us time to set up the rehost because there was quite a few rounds there.
Yeah, well, we'll see you soon. Or Apache, that's not exactly your ideal opponent. Anyway, all that said, we are going to get back into the match. 4-2 in favor of Obey. And they will be moving to Ventilation Workshop after winning their very first and only defensive round on Armory.
Well, definitely a chance we could see them make this work. It's a different bomb site. They had some potential last round. Prompton's going to bring something that's going to help at least a little bit in catching those black eyes, as well as the alibi holograms. Do those have a specific name? I'm trying to think now if there's a specific name for the holograms.
Oh. Oh, I just call them holograms.
Well, everything has cute little names in here, so I think there's got to be one.
Yeah, they definitely do. It's slipping my mind, though. So either way, the hologram's probably not going to play too much of a role. The reason it slips my mind is because it's probably the least notable thing about Alibi. The reason, Prisma, there it is. The reason you bring Alibi is because you have the Bailiff shotgun pistol, which offers you a lot of soft destruction, and you have the impact grenades, which offers you, hey, look at that, even more soft destruction, coupled with the fact that you've got a great gun and you're a 3-speed. So that's why you bring Alibi. Yeah. The Prismas are just side bonus type deal where, hey, yeah, that's cool, I'm glad I have that. Something similar to Vigil, as an example. You bring Vigil because he's got a great fragging kit. There
are some good uses of the Prismas, though, that I would say justified to an extent, in the sense of, like, we saw a good example was Slash playing the server stairs on Bank, using all of them stacked up to help protect him, because it kind of makes it very difficult for someone to push you or to peek you in certain situations. It's not, definitely not overpowered or broken, but it's still useful. And Sky's going down early. A lot of damage taken by Apache and then finished off by Adam, but nonetheless, a great early kill. So that Alibi not going to be showing off too much more this round, unfortunately, for Skies.
Sky is seemingly having a conversation in the chat about every single time he's died so far. It's definitely been a little bit aggressive, is the word I want to use to describe his play style in this match, and rightfully so. It's been working out for him very well, but this time around it's not going to.
Well, it looks like they took the time to give their reset, at least to Prompted, which is good, considering he's been one of their stronger fraggers. The more health you can give him, the more chance he'll be able to turn that into some kills for his team, especially now that they've lost their entry fragger. And Willem, though, the one to actually follow it up, but Vaughn is going to get one as well, so they're all getting their turn this round.
Yeah, Apache yet again in the advantage, but oh boy, we still have some players left alive. Interestingly, Bosco's actually going to be on Castle, and Benji's the one playing the smoke, so a bit of a switcheroo there. We'll see if that actually hurts them, or if these role swaps aren't going to matter too much.
Definitely a possibility for it just being the case of the way that they wanted to play it, making more sense for that switch up. But as you say, Bosco is a very good smoke, but I imagine Benji an equally good smoke. I mean, there's a lot of good smoke players out there, but they're going to have to capitalize on that. They have a minute left to find and get these last two and attack onto this downstairs. They have top floor control. They've just got to win some of these gunfights down there. I mean, obviously the last two left alive would be normally sticking to the site, but the way Bosco is kind of on the roam, could kind of give Apache the advantages that they need.
Yeah, this mark from the attackers and information is abundant for Apache right now, and finally Bosco will go down, leaving Benji in a 1 versus 4. He's got the operator in the position to do it, but there's a decent chunk of time left for Apache's last 4 attackers to secure this final kill, and they're being very, very cautious. They are aware that this is still losable.
Yeah, last round was a good demonstration of that. Just having the advantage isn't enough to close out a round, and closing out a round is something they're not been too great at so far. So Swamp Fox getting the diffuser down here, definitely important, but they need the coverage of his teammates, and here comes that flank, but the shots can't land fast enough, and Vaughn getting that kill right when he did made all the difference in the world, and nicely done by Apache, picking up another round, this time closing it out.
So we're still pretty close to that match point, but now Apache's narrowing in on equalization, bringing it to 4-4 possibly. Currently at 4-3 though. They're going to have to get one more round in order to bring it nice and even. But it's been looking pretty good. That last round was definitely a lot cleaner than what we've seen from Apache so far. Though I have to say a lot of it is due to Obey being way too aggressive. Yeah. I'm not really sure what they were thinking, but peeking everything is not going to work all the time. And clearly Apache has gotten the memo and is starting to play a lot more passive, and that's aiding them quite a bit.
So now can I say plural attacks have been decent?
Yes, yes. Now you can say plural, as they have managed to win now 2.
Yeah, I mean, not bad. It's
been now 1.
It was 1.5.
But they, yeah, you want to say 2.
I want to give them that credit, but they kind of flamed out at the end of that last round before that.
Yeah.
So
I guess we could almost say, you know, you could say 2 if you take the 2 half wins, because we saw when they were attacking on Clubhouse as well.
Yeah.
They were pretty close in that
go.
one round that they managed to attack.
We'll just make up math as we go.
Let's we're figuring out how this works.
It all adds up in the end.
Mm-hmm. Somehow.
Yeah. We'll see though if Obey kind of get their heads back on straight and kind of don't play into Apache, as you were just talking about the fact that their aggression was getting kind of punished. And when you're a team that's well known for being good fraggers and having a good reputation as a very strong team, you're going to kind of play off that confidence to an extent. And sometimes it'll work at the beginning because you kind of get that bullying sort of thing happening, right? Where you're sort of bullying the other team in terms of kind of oppressing what they do by just shutting them down very, very quickly. And I feel like they kind of did that in Clubhouse a little bit. Kind of, I mean, I don't know if bully is necessarily the right word, but it's kind of aggressive play.
Obey the oppressive bullies.
Yeah, right? It seems appropriate for an organization to obey. But either way, Sky's at least punishing the aggressive Astor, but prompted trading right back onto him. So we'll see, though. I feel like Apache still have it in them to maybe get one more round before Obey gets it together.
They have managed to get the refrags. I mean, it's nice and even. Losing Skies early on yet again, and you know, it's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world for Obey. Again, they've been winning a lot of these rounds, not based off of necessarily Skies' amazing performance, which we saw in the first couple rounds, where he was dropping 8 kills out of 2 rounds. But you know, going into the second half of this match, it's been, I think, more a team effort. So not a huge worry for Obey. Apache, on the other hand, they have managed to get a decent chunk of control, but they don't have it all yet. You can see my man playing inside Archives. This is a great position to deny the push from offices that is inevitable. As you can see, prompted droning out Adam. They're going to see Adam, they're going to call out Adam, and they're going to say, hey, we need to pressure into Armory. But they might not know about the Valkyrie playing just aside in that Archives room.
They definitely might not know about that punch hole that Bosco's using as well. Nice pixel play from Adam because he doesn't take any damage in the process. However, my man, despite his positioning, does fall to Swamp Fox. And
prompted will take out Adam as well. So Obey, they are in a worse and worse spot as this round continues to transpire.
This looks so familiar.
Yeah, we might see a 4-4 situation going on here. Bosco again playing on the castle. Benji playing on that shotgun SMG smoke, and it's pressure on to Benji first this time around, though Bosco is still on the roam. So a solo anchor against 4 with 40 seconds to hold out. Not an easy feat for Obey, and they put themselves in this position by being so aggressive.
Well, Vents definitely seems to be a big weakness for them. Swamp Fox picking up another one at a Benji, but Bosco is still on the flank position. He's got to find 3. Low health on the IQ, and the opponent's taking a bit of damage as well, but Swamp Fox at full health. I'm not sure Bosco's going to pull this off as the plant starts to go down.
As the plant has been finally placed, Bosco is going to try and use that impact to get some information. Well, he's not going to be able to do so. You can see Apache has mostly vaulted their way out of the site. They aren't playing this dangerous at all, about as safe as can be. They also have vertical pressure. That's going to be the Maverick of Swamp Fox above on full HP, so no matter what happens here, he's in a good position to deny the disable that diffuser. Also outside of front door, ooh, Bosco just narrowly coming off the angle at the wrong moment. Goes for pre-fire, but cannot make it past Swamp Fox's diligence on that top floor. Apache take another round, and what's this? 4-4. Can it be that Apache will be able to get a lead against Obey? They're 1 round away from doing so, and we actually might see map number 3.
Yeah, Coastline's getting closer and closer here to being a possibility if Apache could keep it up and if Obey get on a bit of a tilt. Just because the same situation keeps happening over and over to them. They keep getting into these 4v2s.
It's important to remember that this would right now would be 5-3 if Apache had not thrown their first attack.
Very true.
They absolutely threw it in the dumpster, and now they're starting to recover. They've brought it 2-4-4, so that's very impressive. But this would be a match point right now, if not for that. So they're inches away from getting their very first lead. They're just going to have to win 1 more round. Armory Locker is going to be the next defense for Obey. They were successful on the last time they defended the site, but again, that was mostly due to Apache gifting it to them.
Yeah. And if this gets to overtime, the who starts on what side first definitely might make a difference, just based off the fact that it seems like attack might be a little bit better for Apache than their defenses on both maps, I would say, but especially on this one. Although, to be fair, they did get 2 defensive rounds, so it's still not too bad. But either way, they're showing a lot of strength that Obey just doesn't seem prepared to counter, in the fact that, I mean, I'd say if nothing else, Apache are doing a good job trading some of those kills. And then when they do manage to get man advantage, they're managing to keep it for the most part. Something that I can't say necessarily for Obey lately in these last few rounds.
Again, I think for Obey, it's just been a struggle of being a little bit too aggressive and exposing themselves and allowing for those picks to happen. And then once that's happened, well, you're leaving who? Bosco pretty much alone to anchor on the site. And it's not, well, Bosco and Benji usually. Yeah. But, you know, it's not an easy feat to go into 2 versus 4, 2 versus 5, whatever the case be. It's a lot to recover from.
Well, in this case, Bosco will be back on the smoke because it seems like that's the lineup depending on the bomb site, whereas when they're downstairs, Benji will play the smoke. When they're upstairs, Bosco will. But upstairs is where they've had more success, although, as you said, part of that was to Apache just really struggling to close out their first attack on this, so we could see them successful this time just based off of that. They got a lot of early advantage the last time they played it, but Benji's playing very smart with that ACOG, and he's going to walk away with the kill and not overpress it, which is the right call, and that's going to take down some important utility from Astor, so they're going to have to try and recover from that now. Hopefully not stack up too much on this Office's push. They're going to need to put some flank pressure on because the mobility from Obey is a little too high, especially as my man takes down the other semi-hard breacher.
You can see that Obey is playing a lot safer, but that is liable to change given that they have now a 2-man advantage. Well-established 2-man advantage from Obey as they're just waiting for their opportunities and seizing them. You can see that Apache is focused entirely on the east side of the building. That is obviously going to be an Office push, but it's not as easy as I'm sure they would like it to be. The Valkyrie very likely has cameras and information, so Apache will call instead a rotation to CCTV, a very dangerous rotation that they just pulled off through the building instead of on the balcony, but it was pulled off perfectly.
What concerns me for Obey as well is even if they win this right now, then they have to go to a 3rd bomb site. They can't go back to ventilation next. Or no, they can because they didn't win it. What am I saying? They went up here voluntarily.
So they can't go to ventilation.
But it hasn't been good for them.
But yeah,
way.
They've been struggling on it, so I don't know that they'd want to. We'll see. Of course, they have to win this first, and they're going to further that exact goal by taking out Prompted, one of the standout players for Apache, using that hole down through the floor, or rather, more specifically, the drop down. Now, we do see the Hibana finally open up that A wall, so the rotation is complete here for Apache. Grenades coming out to half wall, but there's nobody playing there. And the grenade will land and detonate softly. My man putting on some pressure, peeking wide, and just trying to distract his opponents as long as possible. Only 20 seconds left. Vaughn gets a double kill, though, and Skies with the C4. Benji with the final kill, and Obey will take the round. But that actually looked like it might have been a recovery from Apache. It was pretty scary towards the end there.
Yeah, definitely a case where had Benji been playing a little closer, he might not have been able to survive that as well. Taking advantage of the range of that ACOG definitely worked in his favor for at least 2 of those kills. So it's definitely a case where playing back a little bit helped them, maybe not playing as aggressive as they were. It was just the fact that, I mean, they had some good aggression towards the end there. You saw the bandit of, I believe it was my man, playing very close, and he wasn't playing bad. He actually almost lined up a nice 2-kill as they came in, but he wasn't hitting the headshots, and the damage wasn't doing enough to finish the kills, and so they got them on him, and it was down to other players to finish it. But either way, though, that does put Obey on match and map point on their worst bomb site.
Yeah, not where they want to be, but going back to ventilation, they've, again, as you said earlier, they've been struggling with this site. The anchors unable to 2 versus 4 every single round, and all of the roamers for Obey just getting shut down by Apache.
They almost might want to play for a late roam. You know, go upstairs, let them take it first to an extent, maybe have some peaks to be able to shoot upwards, knowing that they're going to open up that floor anyways, potentially, and put some pressure on while you have your roamers actually late rotate up instead to be able to get some pressure on them when they're least expecting and focus downward. But we'll see. They're going to have to obviously make some adaptations to the way it's being played, but the fact that they're bringing a Jackal now is definitely going to help in terms of shutting down any of those kinds of plays by late roamer movement.
You can see Obey could be setting up their heavy roam into CCTV, it seems, with that barbed wire. We saw this before. It was between Skies and Benji. Benji playing with the Maestro LMG all the way over in office and using that impact hole to deny the south doorway, while Skies was playing to deny the west balcony. But it's not going to be that same duo this time around. In fact, it's going to be, since we have a different site, a different lineup, and a different setup as well.
Strat B.
Yeah, Strat B here for Obey. The spray from a man will do a little bit of damage there to Swamp Fox, but not enough to get the down or the kill. Of course, on Repel you can't be down, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's enough to send him scurrying away to another part of the site, though.
Yeah, and very important that he managed to do that. It means that you alleviate, pardon me, a little bit of pressure on that west balcony. You can see that Apache has chosen to adjust their attack accordingly, moving their way over to offices.
Maybe they need to bring a buck instead of a sledge with the way Aster's having to use that shotgun, but they are getting the job done at least. They are going to have to kind of work for the frustration from Aster.
So the Jackal shotgun is definitely a viable thing, but you need to practice. I think it's something you need to practice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we mostly see it for vertical play a lot of times. But Sky's going to take down Swamp and finish the job a man started. This is the start of a good round for Obey, who've been struggling, but Skies takes a bit of damage, and Adam falls in the meantime. So this is starting to slowly swing back to Apache, who really need this to bring it to overtime.
Yeah, and if they don't manage to bring it to overtime, we will not see map number 3. Nice shot here from a Skies. Willem, though, again, the refrag onto my man. So it's a 3-on-3. Obey unable to establish a distinct lead in this round. Skies also being so lit up is not going to bode well for Obey Alliance, and Skies has been one of the top performers for the team today. They really need him to get more frags, but prompted, what a shot onto Skies. Now he can use his vertical pressure to put Bosco and Benji in a bad spot, but Benji shuts him down. Those holes are 2 ways, and it looks like Obey is going to come out on top in that engagement. Vaughn and Willem now, the last 2 attackers. Willem retrieving the diffuser from upstairs. Going to relocate and start to put himself in a position to drop down inevitably as he needs to, as we come down to the last 40 seconds. The shotgun, though, from Benji will down Willem. Terrible game sense from from Willem, who decides to stay upstairs in the last 30 seconds. You really can't have that in this situation. Benji missing some important shots onto Vaughn, but he will land just enough to put him on 1 HP. 20 seconds left, the 1 versus 2, and As Vaughn starts his push, it's not going to be an easy feat. Completely exposed to Benji, he will go down. Apache pushed out of this match, and a 2-0 for Obey Alliance.
That was definitely much closer to a 2-1 situation than I think Obey were comfortable with. They had to kind of shut it down there at the end, play a little more carefully. Strat B definitely working out for them a lot better than Strat A, I would say. But it definitely got close there towards the end. A lot of credit to Benji's shotgun from below. Kind of what I was talking about in terms of putting pressure upwards instead of worrying about it downwards. But in that case, it just came down to, I think, the same hole both times. Getting that shotgun blast up from that kind of corner of the workshop server area. So nicely done by Obey. But so, I mean, I think we expected a potential 2-0, but